Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you read that title right. Today, we're going to be making... Oh, wrong plot. Hold on. We're going to be making an apocalyptic laboratory, alright? It's been a while, but I think it's time we do something. I already have a rough idea of what I want to do. I want to make a winter-themed laboratory, something along the lines of this. I know for a fact I want to have like a sky bridge that's made of glass. We can use flickering lights in this to make blinking like ceiling lamps and stuff. Very modern. Kind of has the vibe of the hospital we did, but it's like slightly different. And yes, this is where Patient Zero came from. So I do want to add like a mold or something that's on the actual building. Trying to figure out how I should make this though. I want to put it in a corner, like the hospital. There's a rough L shape. I'm kind of thinking the building should be somewhere along the lines of this, maybe a little bit bigger. I do want to add a parking lot, even though it's not a part of the actual building. It is important for the surrounding area to make it feel more immersive. So maybe this will be like our parking lot. Very similar to the hospital. And what I'll do, in the lore, just like the hospital, you can see this is right up against the edge of the plot, alright? This is a massive building. I imagine this being like a government or like a provincial laboratory. Important and crazy shit happens here, and that's why Patient Zero came from here. So this is only a small section of what would be a massive building. See, the hard part about this, you know, in the lore, which is very, very unclear. I'm changing it pretty much every single time I build something. But in the lore, I kind of imagine it's not the end of the world, kind of like how The Walking Dead is. It's more like there is, like, still government activity, you know? Like, it's not like the whole world's gone to shit and then you got a group of people that are still alive. It's like there's still a good, like, million people still alive. And you still got, like, government alive and stuff like that. It's not like all the higher-ups are dead. They're still alive. But the problem with that is, if that's the case, why would the laboratory be overrun? So what I'm kind of thinking is maybe we make it so a part of the laboratory got overrun. And that's where the zombies came from, potentially. Is that fire? I don't know. I feel like this is missing a lot of shape. The parking space dimensions I like to do is 2x4. A whole, like, lane would be, like, 8. So, there's your first kind of line of spots. There's your second line right there. And then I'll go down by 4, and then you'll have another 8. I feel like that could be our sky bridge. Or should it be in the middle? It should probably be in the middle, shouldn't it? So I want this place to look really dystopian. I was honestly debating on making a custom skybox. And I'll explain what that is. I've never done it, but I know how to do it. It's when you get a decal, a one-sided decal, put it on an invisible shape, and then line it across one border of your plot, the other border, and then the top, so that the entire, like, plot is encased in decals, and then you gotta change each one to make a custom sky. I was kind of debating on doing one, like, that's really gray, like a gray kind of like moody sky, but at the same time, that will take up a lot of plot data, and I kind of like the sunlight we have right now, but at the same time, I could change my mind. See, the hospital had some personality, because even though the colors weren't vibrant, it was like a brown, a yellow, and like a red kind of, which is definitely a lot more attractive than just gray and like a very bland beige. But I think the bland beige and gray is actually quite beneficial for this building, because I really want to get a sort of, what would you even call it? Like I guess you could say a sad look. I just want it to look very, very bland, and that would fit the winter kind of thing I'm going for as well, because this build in the lore takes place in winter. Because what I'm thinking, right? Hear me out. The plots I've done before, the Apocalyptic Hospital, the Apocalyptic High School, the Apocalyptic Mall. If you noticed, in those builds, I made it so the grass was dead, the trees were dying. So I kind of like to think that all those builds took place in late summer, early fall. Now, I like to think that the outbreak started in spring or early summer, and it happened over the course of summer, leading to, you know, the end of summer, early fall, which is when, like, the mall and all that stuff happened, when it really started to be, like, a serious problem, and, like, you know, the high school got overrun, the hospital got overrun. Like, that's when it became a big issue, because I don't know how familiar a lot of you are to Guts and Black Powder, but in that lore, it's like a 6-year period that the infection happens. It starts in Russia, and then it slowly spreads to other European countries. That's how it works in there. I feel like 6 years is a bit of a long process, especially with, like, you know, how many people are in the city. Like, the thing about Guts and Black Powder, there's not as many people, so I can see why it wouldn't spread as fast, but this is like modern times, so I feel like it would actually spread a little bit quicker. So I feel like a 3-4 month period is a good, like, time frame. I feel like this dirt stain is a little bit too busy. Maybe just dirt? Because this is going to be all windows, this part. It's going to be just solid-ass windows. That's all it's going to be. Might actually make it concrete. Hold on. But yeah, we'll do our building. We'll get the windows on, all that stuff. And then after we get all the windows on and everything, we will do the parking lot. Like, I just want to get, like, a basic exterior done today. Like, that's the thing. I'm going to let y'all know what day it is. It's December 5th, Friday. The Kitty's House video and the Level 188 video published today. Next week, it's the first winter town. So I have plenty of time to just fool around with this. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just goof off. In the lore, this place is actually called Chemco. Unless we want to, like, pull some strings to change the name. Because Chemco was a name I came up with on the mall build. And the thing about the mall build is I wasn't really considering the lore. Chemco I came up with on a whim when we did the mall build, because I didn't know this was going to be a series. I thought it was just going to be like a one-off build. And here we are on, like, episode, what, like 4? 5? I think 5. 5 or 6. And this is becoming more of a serious thing now, because now I need to consider the lore and attachment to other kind of buildings, which is easier said than done. I think I'm only going to use the like bluish glass on the upper floors. That would be more office-y and more actually like laboratoric. Is that even a word? Laboratoric? You'll know what I mean. And we'll kind of get the same custom window design down here as well. I like that. Kind of. I'm going to kind of get the same modern fences I did on the hospital, which is like a combo of fences. That's clean. Now, a big thing I'm going to have to do is these metal parts. You might think windows go here. They don't. This is blank. I mean, this part isn't. Right here, this is actually windows. But just about every other spot is blank. So what I'm going to have to do about that is the same thing I did here and make like fake kind of like tile bricks. Expect a long time lapse of that. Because these ones are actually more rectangular too. Like the ones on the concrete were square. These are about to be very, very rectangular. This kind of like covering or whatever the hell this is used a lot, so expect to see this used on almost every window. So just a little warning, you know, because you might be like, damn, this is getting repetitive, but it's on the actual building I'm kind of following. And underneath these windows, I'm going to get like vents or some sort of like louver design. Yeah, that's cool. I hate this blank spot, but it's actually there on the real thing. I could get the same tile design. What's plot data looking like? Because I need to make sure I'm not going too nutty. Only 3.4, not bad. That could be before everything loaded though, which is a bit frightening. You can see our basic building. We need to get this on all of this, and then we'll start our parking lot, and I'll tell you guys how I make them. Because people want to know. See how dark the shadows make it? That's unreal. I feel like shadows need to be changed because they're way too dark. That's just my opinion though. Like it shouldn't be, it's like nighttime in here. Look at this. I can't even really see what I'm doing. There's no reason why it should be this dark. I love the apocalyptic builds, man. They're so fun. The only thing about them, though, is they take so long to make. Like, that's why I don't do them that often. I'll get a lot of people, where's the next apocalyptic build? But the whole reason why I'm not making the next one is because I'm taking a break. Because they are so big. They take so long to make. And so much, like, I don't know if power is the right word, but, like, you kind of get what I mean, right? A lot of energy. Not physical energy, but, like, mental energy. Because I'll be building the same plot for, like, probably about a week. The hospital alone had, like, 16 hours of footage. So, kind of gives you a rough idea of how long I'll be building these. And that 16 hours translate to, like, 4 or 5 days. Because I'm not building 16 hours in one session. I should probably get that out there. I touch grass, y'all. Or snow, rather, because it is winter right now. That's cool. I'm gonna get some structurals in these. Guys, I will be right back. I gotta go grocery shopping. I am very happy with how this is looking right now, though. This looks like a facility. Like, this actually has laboratory vibes. It kind of looks like a hospital, but, like, it totally has, like, scary building vibes. And that is exactly what I'm shooting for. See, I really like this building. I just don't know how it's going to fare against plot data. Like, the detail on it is fire. I'm extremely happy with how it's looking, but I worry about how much detail I can really put into this thing. And what I'll be able to do for interiors, because this is a really weird shape. Like, I don't know what to do about the weird shaping. It's really, really weird. I gotta get snow up here too, don't I? But I'll quickly finish the rest of this exterior, or like get a rough, clean exterior to work with. You know, get snow and everything, and then we'll get decal snow later. And then we'll do the parking lot, and then I think we can actually start getting into the nitty-gritty. But I am very pleased with how this is looking so far. And don't ask why, but I really like the whole trusses for some reason. I'm kind of separating the pipes a little bit so I don't have to use too many of them for plot data, and because it makes no difference if you're looking at it from afar, and no one's going to be up on this building, so I really need to be careful with the roofs, because if I put too much, I'm literally wasting data when I could be putting more into zombies and interior and all that stuff. That's the kind of logic behind it. So, like, this is fine. These roofs aren't extremely detailed, but they're detailed enough for you to, like, not really bat an eye. I think we can start our actual, whatchamacallit, parking lot. The way I do these, there's no real, like, method, per se. One thing I must note when making parking lots, you must know what your dimensions are. This is 33 wide. And it's also 24 long. So 24 long means I could get my parking spots going this way, vertically. Horizontally, no. And I do suggest making your parking lots based on the shape. So see how this is rectangular? Since it's rectangular, I'm putting my parking spots like this. Doing it this way would be too awkward. And another thing, the roads in between your parking spots, you want these to be at least 4 wide, preferably 5. But if you're really cramped, you could do 4. And if you have odd numbers, like this was originally like 25. To compensate, I made like a little boulevard. You can do these too. They're very easy. But and I'll quickly cook up something here. So what we'll do, plain marking. I like to make it smooth rock. It's a more modern parking lot, so I'll keep the marking white, and I'll do like a little bit of a darker color like that. And I'm just going to trace my outlines. I always, always, always make my parking spots 2x4. Because then you can fit just about every single Bloxburg vehicle except for the train and the snowplow. Oh shit, wait. I did something wrong. Because that's odd. That shouldn't be an odd number. You can see why odd numbers are bad now. Okay, so to fix this, I'll get rid of all of this. And we'll have it go all the way to the edge. And how I got this, by the way, I started off with just this big old lot. I imagined it in my head, because most buildings like this have a road that goes around from the front. Like a grocery store, for example. So, like, you got your road that you flow through. That's how you navigate the parking lot. You've got your roads in between your parking spots to actually get to a spot. And you want those to be at least 4 to 5 wide. This one is 4, so I just did that. If you trace it, you can see there's your road, and then you're left with this. If you get this right, 20. So you can have 8, 8, 16. So that's 16 would be, that's 8 right there. Those are your 4 spots, or those are 2 spots. There's your other 2 spots. So there's 16 right there. This is 4. This is 20. Having even numbers is very important. I can't stress that enough. You can kind of see how that, like, ended up the way it was. But now we'll just get our spots in here. And in the case of this, this build, you can see that this isn't the entire parking lot. You can see it's cut off. But if you want a parking lot that isn't cut off, you need to take your entrances and exits into an account. I'm pretty sure I showed how to do those on the mall build from like a year ago. It's pretty much the same thing. Just make sure your flow roads actually lead to Bloxburg's road, and then you can make entrances and exits. This kind of has an entrance right here, but I kind of imagine this parking lot is like double in size this way, maybe triple. Like this is a big building, so they need a lot of people here. But since this is an odd number, and this is 5 wide now, while this is 4 wide, what I can do is if I take a roof and do this, make sure you leave a grid space worth from the end of the parking spot. Go up the same height as a sidewalk, which is 2. Bam. There you go. Then, color it the same as your sidewalk, and then make your inside, whatever you want. I'm going to make it snow, because it's winter. Then, we'll take a cylinder. Make it the same height as... Did I use... I don't think I actually used... I didn't use... What do you call this? Roof. I think I actually used basic shapes. Hold on. That's just as easy, though. Just copy what you have. Like this. Just gonna do the same thing we did for the roof. Get it fitting. With the parking spots. Make sure you have, again, a grid space wide worth. That way you can get your rounded kind of segment. So there you go. I like to make it one big thing, that way you can just place it wherever you like. But we're actually not done with this. What I'm going to do now is make the little, curb I usually do on these kind of things. We'll have to add this to the other sidewalk as well. There you go. Easy. And you can add grass onto that as well. Decal, Bloxburg, whatever you like. But there you go. Do the same thing for this whole sidewalk, which will be a bit of a pain in the ass, but we'll roll with it. For the straight parts, you can just use a plank, but for the curved parts, you'll have to use a shape. I can't tell if I should do 4 lights or 2. I feel like 4 would be more laboratory-ish. Maybe. Potentially. I don't know. I also feel like this is too, like, old-looking. I feel like I should make this more, like, modern, I guess. Because I don't know why. To me, this shouldn't be, like, this color. I feel like I should be making it gray. And it looks like a early 2000s parking, like, lamp. You know what these look like? I'll give you a really, really accurate description, alright? It's 2003, and you're going Christmas shopping at Walmart with your mom at 4 a.m. Nah, 12 a.m. That's what these look like. And these are what they have on the parking lot. That's exactly what this looks like. But this is like a modern techie facility. I don't know if these really match. If anything, I feel like these should be like modern, like, I don't know if futuristic's the right word. I'm facing a bit of a predicament here. I'm not entirely sure if I should have bodies in our parking lot, because I was kind of debating on adding the military. The thing about adding the military is, would they have the, like, control over the situation? Like, would there even be zombies here? Like, that's the problem I'm kind of facing right now. I don't know whether or not I should make it, like, so there's some control, or like, I don't know. It's just difficult because I do imagine there being some survivors in the actual hospital. Not the hospital, the lab, my bad. But I do imagine there being like some parts that are under control that are sealed off and keeping people alive. But I also imagine there being parts that are like overrun. Because this is where Patient Zero came from. And if Patient Zero came from here, then you'd expect most of this to be overrun. Because they got out and now they're roaming other streets. In like towns and stuff. So that's the kind of problem that I'm facing right now. Is I don't know what situation I should be putting this lab in. It's really hard to figure out like lore. That's the hardest part about these builds. These apocalyptic builds and the abandoned builds is thinking of some lore. Because I usually let the viewers come up with it. But there are some segments or aspects that I have to come up with. Because, I mean, it's crucial to the build, right? So, those are some of the problems that I'm kind of facing at the moment. I'm adding snow right now. I like to make the building pristine and normal first, and then I like to do all the zombies and all that stuff after. I don't know if I said this already, I probably did, but I imagine this taking place like 4 to 6 months after the outbreak started. Outbreak started in late spring, early summer, and got worse over time. And this is the latest build in the whole like timeline. Is it time zone or timeline? Probably timeline. Latest build in the timeline. And I imagine that the infection grows stronger in the cold. So, in winter, people would normally slow down. It doesn't slow down the zombies at all. The zombies stay the same because they're not affected by temperature. So, while many people would be moving slower due to the cold, the zombies will be moving just as fast as they're moving in summer. And I feel like if you got bit in the winter by a zombie, you would get infected almost twice as fast, maybe even twice as fast. Because diseases and all that stuff actually do better in colder temperatures and climates. So right now is what I would say probably the most dangerous time of our Apocalypse series. Looks alright. I'm gonna get walls down so we can put decals down. The worst part about the apocalyptic builds is how many blood decals I need to get. Because if I use the same blood splatter, it gets repetitive, so I have to end up getting like 30 different blood splatters. Just so it's more real, I guess. And you're getting more variety. It's like that kind of like new looking but also decrepit vibe is perfect. Like this is a new and nice building. Well maintained, modern, all that jazz. But no one's been able to maintain it for like 4 or 5 months. So you gotta add some kind of like wear and tear to it, and that changes so much. It actually looks kind of like some bad shit happened here now. Yeah, like, this is looking pretty fire now. Like, I'm gonna walk around a little bit. You got your full parking lot. I want this one to look very full compared to the other builds because I feel like the scientists would have less of an opportunity to escape. You got more higher end cars too, because again, scientist, bro, that's a high paying job. Wonder if I should have some more snow in here. I might do a little bit more snow, but I'm liking how this is looking. The little bits of damage and grime just to make it seem a little more under the weather, I guess you could say. Building is not doing too hot. And then we'll do cracks. And then after we do cracks, I mean, I guess we'll figure out what we got to do next, but I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to do zombies very soon. I like how subtle some of the decals are. Like, you can see them, but they're not very overpowering, which is nice. I find that a lot of crack decals are super overpowering and unrealistic looking. I like the realism that these have. Like, they look like cracks, like real cracks. And then you got like dust as well, and scrapes to go with it. Like, it's just a nice kind of subtle detail that makes this very flat parking lot look a little more interesting. I'm still very unsure about what the situation should be. Like, I would say the exterior's done, building's done. I'm just like, I'm thinking, what should the situation be? Like, if I have the military here, it feels wrong because why would there be zombies here if the military was here? Because like I might trigger some people by saying this, but I'm not trying to have a Walking Dead situation. Because what I hate about The Walking Dead is they're walking. Slow, boring zombies, right? And the thing about them is, yes, they're zombies. Yes, they can infect people by biting them, but this is modern day, like every other day. It's like now. It's like present time zombie apocalypse, and you got these slow moving zombies, and it's like, with all the modern technology they have, like machine guns, all that shit, why would they not have control over the situation? Especially if the zombies are walking, bro. Like, the thing I love about the Korean zombie movies is they're always tweakers. Like, I'll put footage on screen, but like, they run, they like glitch for some reason. Like, they'll have like jitters and shit. They're very unpredictable. That makes sense. Like, I don't know how to respond to that. Siri, I'm not talking to you, bro. But like, they'll have very fast movement and very hard to predict movement, and that makes sense. It's like, yeah, okay, you have technology, but if you can't catch them, then yeah, they're a problem. But The Walking Dead, bro, they're this slow moving. You're telling me people don't have the knowledge to like run away or like move away from the zombies? And not only that, why is the military not got like a hold on what's happened? Like, it just seems so fake, which I hate. The thing I love about Guts and Black Powder, Roblox game, A, they have tweaker zombies that run and rip you apart, that are very unpredictable and hard to like hit. That's one thing. And they could get away with just that. Like, I can understand a zombie apocalypse happening if the zombies are unpredictable and fast. That makes sense. But not only that, in Guts and Black Powder, it's not modern day. It's like the 1800s, late 1700s. It's like Napoleonic times. They are so underdeveloped that it's like, how would they even take control of the situation? And that makes so much sense to me, because like, they don't have machine guns, they have muskets. You shoot a bullet and then you're reloading for like a minute. So that makes sense. I could see why a zombie apocalypse would happen in those times and like not be able to be controlled. But like, if they're just walking around and we have all this modern day technology, why would we have any issues? You lose like a few million people, yeah, but after the military comes in and like quarantines sections of cities and stuff off and like really blocks off the infection, it's game over, right? I hate just walking zombies, and I can't say it enough. I despise walking zombies. They're so boring. And I'm sorry to any Walking Dead fans watching, but like, just the concept to me does not make sense. And that's just my opinion, alright? But like, I just hate the fact that they're in like the 1980s, I believe. When does actually? I should probably Google this before I chat shit. Begins in 2010. That's even worse, bro. We haven't developed that much since then, or maybe we have. I don't know. But the point is, in 2010, we have technology to stop a zombie apocalypse. I mean, come on. They're walking, and it's 2010. We have so much military equipment. It's like, brother, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. I remember back when this one movie came out. What is it called? I'm pretty sure it's called #Alive. When I first watched that, it was like the first zombie movie to actually like give me like adrenaline. Or not adrenaline, but like kind of the same effect a thriller would have. Cause like the zombies are so fast moving. The main character is trapped in an apartment building that's like got super thin hallways. Like that's terrifying, yo. If you got the tweaker zombies that a lot of Korean movies have, where they're like running and then just ripping and tearing. Dude, I would have a heart attack if I was in that situation. I would be so scared. I wouldn't even leave my house. I would just starve to death in my house. I never really understood why people geeked out over movies like that, where the zombies are super slow moving and not even a threat. Like, I really liked 28 Days Later when I first watched that as well. Like, that movie actually gave me, like, a really good scare as well. Like, that scene where he's in the church, he says one word, hello? And then suddenly 3 corpses stand up and just stare at him lifelessly. Literally, like, my heart stopped when I was watching it.
Hello?
Like, I've never felt something like that before. I was literally just sitting there in bed watching the movie, bored out of my mind because the intro is so long. Suddenly, they jolt up. It's absolutely terrifying. And again, the zombies in that movie, they run and they rip and tear. And like, what's even crazier about the 28 Days Later lore is it's not even biting that gets you infected. If you get a little bit of like the virus in like your eye, in your mouth, anything, you're infected. That's it, you're done. Like, that's the crazy part about the whole 28 Days Later saga, or whatever it's called. But rant over, I am liking how this is looking. I didn't put that in the ground, okay. I must say, in terms of exteriors, this is probably my favorite apocalyptic build. I love this exterior. I feel like it's the most realistic looking out of all of them. Like, this looks like an actual building. The hospital looked like an actual building, but there was something about it that didn't really feel real. This looks like a real building. This also has the exact, like, vibe I was shooting to get, which is, like, creepy, big, and sad building. It's a giant building, boring modern architecture, and it's, like, it's got no color. That is exactly what I'm looking for. gotta say, if you're building like a custom car or something in Bloxburg, go to Sketchfab, bro. Because honestly, I can see every single detail of this vehicle. And I'm realizing I cocked up something. Hold on. So this truck uses leaf springs, so I'm just gonna put down a beam, call it quits there. Again, this can't be too detailed. I can't put too much into this or else I will literally like set myself up for failure. I'm trying to think about what I should do next. I want to do zombies, but I'm kind of hesitant for some reason. Now let's do zombies. So I'll start off by just making a male and female variant, and then we'll make like probably 15 different hairstyles. I like to make my limbs, whether they're legs or arms, 0.95 wide. I always make them R15. So you do this, there's 2 out of your 15, and then go up to like there. That could be used as a leg or an arm, whatever you like, really. And then to make the torso, it's literally the same thing, except the width is doubled. You can see how expensive this is already. Unbelievable. 1.4K. That's only the male one, too. The female one's even more expensive. Then for the female one, use the same legs, same torso. Or, what is this, abdomen? Whatever this, like, rectangle right here is. But except this time, we're going to be using wedges to give the body a bit of an hourglass shape. Because this is actually a package in Roblox, too. The, like, girl body. I don't even know what it's called. I'll have to pull it up on screen. Hold on. This one. And all it does is it makes the torso, like, thinner. That's all it does. Nothing else. Arms and legs are still the same. It's just the torso that changes. That's the same thing as what's going on right here. I'd say the female ones are easier to make, but they're more expensive because you have to use shapes to make their hair. You can't make female zombie hair with decals. Well, I shouldn't say female zombie hair, like long hair you can't make with decals. You can only do short hair. I mean, there might be a way, but not that I know of. Like, a lot of these won't work. Like, this won't work because it's on an angle and it's long. You want stuff that's, like, directly looking forward, like this. If you can find ones that are white like this, that's perfect because you can literally color it to any color you want. I say that a lot. If you want, like, if you're making decals and you don't know if you have the right color or not, try to find stuff that's white because you can color it in Bloxburg. But I'm gonna get some like black mold decals. That'll go inside more than it will outside. And then we're gonna need like a shit ton of blood splatters. The thing about these apocalyptic builds, you can't use the same blood splatter over and over again because that's too repetitive. You gotta use different ones. I know I sound like Dexter right now, but you gotta have some variety to make it look more real. You can't just have the same pool every single time. And you gotta use the splatters to have story in your build, too. I think I'll start by making our military zombies. So I'm gonna snatch Buzz Cut over here. I'll get like 3 around the truck. So there you go, you already got all our military. There'll be more inside, but I'm not going to do those yet. Before I even do bloodstains, I'm just going to make sure I get bodies all around the parking lot. Not too many, but just enough to, like, you know, show what happened. People are trying to escape and all that. We'll get one here. I'll probably have one in there, maybe two. Now, this will probably be a long time lapse because this is quite repetitive, but I'm just going to get these all around our exterior, posed and everything. So, I'll see you when that's finished. I think that might be all our zombies. We've got, like, that's 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got like 15 outside. That's plenty. Because most of the people would have died inside, and anyone that got out would have a hard chance of actually getting away. At least outside of this plot's bounds. Like, maybe there's a bunch more further down the parking lot, you know? I do think we're getting to the point where this exterior is about finished, though. I don't really know what else to get out here. See, it's so hard to, like, do cool stuff without it being repetitive, because I was tempted to put a car going through the front doors again, but I did that on the hospital, you know? I was also tempted to make, like, a survivor, or, like, a survivor's vehicle with, like, supplies, but I did that on the high school. So, I'm kind of running out of ideas for, like, cool random details. This building is so difficult, man. This interior is just painful. But I think I've established what I want to do. So this kind of like T shape right here goes down 3 stories. All 3 of these can be turned into labs. Maybe not the top one because there is some kind of jank stuff happening here. But we could definitely get labs in here. So that's something. And the first floor I I really don't like. Like, this is cool, I'm fine with this, but there's a lot of aspects that I don't like. And I really don't know what to do about this first floor, man. I really like this hallway, but again, I can't help but just think there's something off. And I'll close off either side, that way we can, you know, do an isolated kind of room. Because that's what I'm going to have to do. On the hospital, I made it so there was interiors in some areas, but you couldn't even access them if you were walking around. It was just purely for decoration. I wish I could actually show that on screen, but I deleted the hospital a long time ago. But what it is, say we have this second floor area right here. We turn these two rooms right here into labs. We fully decorate this kind of area right here. Hallway, labs, fully decorated, fully done. But you can't walk into them. So they're just purely here for decoration. That's kind of the idea. And I did that in the hospital, and I'm definitely going to have to do it here, unfortunately. But I'm liking the look of some of this. Like, we could probably get some clean, simple hallway stuff here, like the hospital. Same here. This could be turned into a lab. I'm not really sure, though. I'm not a huge fan of this area. It doesn't have a great view, and it's very dark, so I might leave that. Same with this. The windows are actually on the floor in this one. The corduroy fabric looks kind of cool. Is that weird to have that as the wall? This is actually going to use a lot more white than the hospital. Kind of a warning before I actually, you know, just white out this place. There's no real, like, color schemes. It's literally just, like, white building, that's it, you know? I mean, the lobby might have some wood, like paneling, but that's about it. I think it's a good idea to get, you know, the basic hallways done. Kind of like how we did this. Now we're doing these two. And I might do more, I don't know. It's getting kind of late in the day. I have some other stuff I gotta do, but I feel like doing the basic before we do the important and the complicated is smart. I don't know why. I just feel like we're making some good moves here. Because now, future me, when I wake up and not know what the hell's going on, I'll actually have a rough idea of what I'm supposed to be doing. We're making really good progress, though, which is good, because I am on a bit of a time crunch. I've got some other big builds and stuff I have planned that I gotta get out for y'all. In here, I'll have a very similar design to what we had in the last one. 2 more easy hallways, Dunyan rings. And I could put labs inside those if I wanted to, or I could keep them blank, because it looks cool blank, too. But I think for now I'm going to take a break. We still have the bottom floor and this upper hallway here. Well, really just this section here, with the sky bridge and all that. And then we can call our interior, our basic interior, done. And then we got to add details and zombies, and then this build will finally be finished. I've been building for probably about 20 hours in total. So cutting this video down into an actual, like, hour-long video is going to be quite a challenge, but we're getting there. I'm very pleased with how it's looking. Exterior especially. I love the outside. Like, the outside's probably my favorite part. Inside, pretty cool. I don't know if it's my best work. I do really like it, though. It's kind of boring, but it kind of has to be boring for it to fit the laboratory look. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. I'm going to take a break, and I'll see you guys when I come back on. Bye-bye now. See, this is how big I would like to make my lab, but I don't have the plot room. But this is what the labs will look like. Something along the lines of this. And then there's windowed ones, too. We could also do something like this and have a room that's under renovations. Also, I feel like Bloxburg should add this. Oh my god. I feel like Bloxburg should add janitor carts. But I think I've gone on the reference I need. I'm not going to make like a big area like this. I mean, maybe for the lobby, but that's it. The one thing I worry about is custom stuff. I don't know if I have enough plot data to do like custom stretchers and stuff. But I've gotten my reference. I think I'm going to go back and try making some of it. See, the thing about making these labs is they are very copy and paste, which, as you can expect, is a little bit boring to build. I'm like falling asleep in build mode right now because I'm just copy and pasting the same thing and using the same formula. But over here, these rooms I want to make into like a cryo chamber or something with like the field of fog to make it look cold. See, like that makes it look cold in there. These are both gonna be like cryo chambers that store like bodies or like organ donors or something. And I'm quite happy with how this is looking though. I'm either gonna have this empty or very like underfurnished, like as if they were in the middle of like changing stuff in here. This will be pretty much the same as this, a little less furnished because it's dark. But yeah, I'm liking how this is looking. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. But we are definitely making good progress. And I'd say we're near finished. Because all we have left is these two labs right here. Furnishing like 2 or 3 that are over here. And then making our like lobby, which is this. So, I will see you guys. Where am I? I'm right here. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
So we're back on. My goal for today is to fully finish the interior without zombies, at the very least. So like bare minimum, alright? We're gonna finish the whole interior pristine. So, that's what I want to try and do today. If I'm able to, I would love to like fully finish it today and get all our zombies inside too. So, if we can, we'll do that, but if we can, we won't. There's a couple more things I want to do to this place. Or this kind of like lab, rather. I don't think I like the wood. I think I might just make it plain white. And then once we've finished these 2 labs, or these 4 rather, we'll move on to like these labs over here, which is kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it, but they have freezers with bodies and body parts from donors. And this is where they experiment on them. So I'll have like a big freezer. And what I'll do is I'll put a shit ton of these. Because if you line these up beside each other, they almost look like body storage. So if I got a bunch of these lined up beside each other in like a freezer, it'll look like, as gruesome as it sounds, it'll look like body storage. It's hard, because making these, like, laboratories, or these lab buzz, like, just labs in general, different, is such a struggle, because I don't know anything about, like, laboratories. Like, this is new territory for me, so I'm kind of relying on the map and those who remain that we looked at earlier, and also just, like, intuition. I think I want the one that's, like, empty and being renovated to be the one with flickering lights. Because why would the light be flickering unless they were, like, fucking around with it? So, knowing that this is the one that's being renovated, I'll probably get, like a step stool. Just, like, various building equipment. Maybe some boxes. And this could be, like, the one they were working on. Get, like, a power box or something. Like, just various stuff. That makes it a little bit more interesting. Kind of fire. And then something I do want to do is make a floor or a hallway have a lot of like black stains, like black mold, almost like that's the oldest part of the actual like outbreak, and that's where most of the infection came from. And I'm kind of debating on making it this floor. Like maybe this is where Patient Zero came out. Like maybe that's what the lore is. We're making progress, but I can't help but think we are nowhere near done. I also can't help but think that there could be a lot more in this lobby. I'm also running out of ideas to put in this lobby, if I'm being honest. Got a pillar in the middle of the room to like break it up a little bit. I might do something similar to the hospital where there's like some reception. You know, just random shit like that. Don't know what I'm gonna do about this big ass open area, but I'll probably just leave it for now. I'm happy with how this is looking though, I must say. I feel like there's definitely still some stuff missing, but I don't know if I'm gonna add it yet because I don't know if it's actually needed. Might do zombies, and then after we do zombies, we'll do blood and like stains and all that, and then we might be fine. So in here is where we're probably gonna put our like stain and mold kind of stuff. I think bare minimum, I want to get all the zombies in, but I might do all the blood later, like tomorrow, because I don't know if I have enough time to do everything today. I do want to at least get the zombies in. I'm glad we finished not the interior. Yeah, we finished the interior without zombies. Well, we've got our basic interior done, which is nice. But I do think we need to at least get all of our zombies in too, just so that we're like locked in. We have everything ready to go to finish it. And then tomorrow we can just fully, like, finish this. But there's another new unique zombie. I'll copy this and be a little bit of a copy and paster and get this one up here, too. I'll just change one of the features, like maybe lighter hair, lighter skin, all that jazz. That's the key to copy and pasting. You just gotta, like, make minimal changes, and then it kind of counts. Maybe get red hair. Haven't had a lot of that. Now we're getting a little bit more crowded, which is nice. I don't know how many I should be getting. How many scientists? No fixed number, 3 to 10 per room. I think I'll do like 5 per room. Although, look how many seats I have. Hold on. I gotta count, because you got 5 seats already. And then you'd have some people actually, like, experimenting. There's 3 in here. I think I'll get like 5 in here, with the idea that some ran out. And then the same for the upper floors. Although that one office room has a lot of, whatchamacallit, chairs. Could get another military person, maybe. And of course we need people eating them. It's like, we'll copy and paste this person. Maybe they're eating him. Pause. Y'all know what I mean. But yeah, the military came here, tried to help out with whoever was left, and they got finished. So, do I need any more in here? Got all these. This room never had people in it in the first place, so I'll just keep that empty. This one, good. Hallway is a little bit empty, but I think it's fine, because I got a bunch in the other room. I don't want to put too many bodies on the mold floor, because I kind of imagine that Patient Zero would, like, eat them over time to stay alive. You know, while it was alive. To make Patient Zero, I'll probably use this dude. I'll have Patient Zero, like, kind of in the ground to make it look like, you know, he's falling apart, maybe. Because I imagine Patient Zero being dead due to being experimented on and decomposing. But Patient Zero made their mark, and now the zombie apocalypse is taking place because of them. But, like, we'll get them in the ground like this, right? And there's no floor underneath them, so they're not peeking through anything. And we'll make them really dark in color, like a dark flint, right? We'll make Patient Zero have a really weird texture that makes them look really, really rough. I feel like Patient Zero should be bald. I'm not entirely sure, though, if I should actually do that. But that'll be Patient Zero when we actually, like, go more into detail with making them. I feel like they should be a little bit more visible, though. What we could do is, around them, get, like, ivy. So now it kind of looks like some yucky shiz has happened, you know? And we'll get a bunch of decals around this, too, to really make it, like, transition nice.
We're definitely near finished. I'd say we're like 85% there. All we gotta do is make some decals, whiteboard the name of the actual laboratory for the lobby. And we need to add glass cracked decals, maybe. I don't know if the glass would actually break here or not, because it's a more government building. So it could be stronger, I don't know. I needed to actually research that, but I also need blood decals, like two-sided blood decals for the glass. So we can have blood on our glass and it shows through both sides. We still need to add zombies to our lobby. Some more to like these more empty areas too. Yeah, this hallway, the lobby, maybe the upper hallway, maybe the top floor hallway too. I don't know. And then we just gotta add blood throughout the whole entire interior. But I'm very pleased with how it's looking so far. Even though we're not as far as I'd like us to be, we're definitely getting there. And we're near finished. The only thing I kind of worry about is the thought of editing this video keeps popping into my head because I'm at like 20 hours of footage right now. And we're approaching the record of film time. Because I remember building the hospital for so long. It was like 5 days of recording. And each day it was like 3-4 hours. Something like that. I don't know if that's what it was exactly, but I remember we reached like 20 hours of footage. And we're approaching that right now. I'm at like 19, 20 right now. And if I go above 20, then I've beaten the film record. But I think I'm going to hop off for now. Take a break. Because I've got a bunch of stuff I need to do around the house. Anyways, I'm yapping. I'll see you guys soon. I just realized I haven't been talking, but I think we're about ready to add blood. I locked in with the zombies, added a crap ton of new ones, I added some old ones again as well. I'm going to add a bunch of blood. If I think I need more zombies, I'll add more. But I think this is a good stopping point for zombies, so I'm just going to start adding blood. And we'll see where we get. I am going to have to make two-sided decal variants for blood too. But for now, I'm just going to do all the one-sided ones. And then when I'm done all the one-sided ones, we'll do our two-sided ones. And then we can kind of get like, like blood on the glass, all that stuff.
yeah, I'm very happy with how this is turning out. I think I'm going to take a break. Because it's like 5 o'clock. I've been building for like 3-4 hours. So, I will see you guys soon. But as you can see, before I hop off, look how much we've done. This is definitely going to be my longest video yet. Well, in terms of raw footage, I don't know how much it'll be when I cut it down and edit it, but this is definitely looking a lot better with the zombies and blood in here. So, I will come back on tomorrow. So we're definitely getting near the end of this. I'm very happy with how these decals turned out. This one, I actually made specific, like, things for each one that I want to put in specific spots. I also have a whiteboard decal. But this one, I want this to be this. Perfect. That's the first one right there. Pause the video if you want to read it. Over here, we'll have this one. Again, pause the video if you want to read it. Actually, let me readjust this. Hold on. I might change this one to this one. Yeah, I like that better. And then we'll have this one. Again, if you want to read it, feel free to pause the video. So in the lore, the outbreak initially happened late spring, early summer. We've come to that conclusion. So I made sure to put dates according to what happened on these sort of billboards. So as you can see, the tour is on September 27th, so they were planning like a couple months ahead. That's a detail there that I wanted to point out because I'm kind of proud of it. I decided to call this place Triarch Research Institute Chemco. So we're still getting the Chemco in there from earlier builds, but we also have a bigger, more developed name, which I really like. I really hope this looks cool. I worked so hard on this. It looks cool, but you can't really read it, which was kind of the point of it, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Look at that. Get it maybe like as a dark blue. Bam. What can I say, guys? What can I say? I'm kind of debating on getting more of these, though. These only work good in spots where they won't be in the way. Like, it could definitely work in these hallways. Because if I get this right here... I have another one that has 3 characters, but it says the exact same thing as the one with 1 character. And the thing I love about the little characters on this is it totally looks like those stupid characters a big corporation would use in their advertising. And the cool part about them is they're wearing the same uniform. Like the exact same uniform as our zombies. Which is so fitting. Like you got the blue shirt, the gloves. Look at that. They're matching, bro. That's what I was saying. You've got that one there. I'm going to put one more in here. So we've got all of our decals in use. Now the last thing we have to do is add blood to our glass. So yeah, knowing that, I'm going to get off, have a break, because I am going to drain myself with how much I'm building right now. But I am super happy with how this is turning out. I'm on a time crunch, so I'm really trying to, like, work my hardest for the time I have. And I honestly think we're getting a good result. Because I need to do another apocalyptic build. It's been so long. You guys have been asking. So I'm really trying to get one out for y'all. Is it Christmassy? Not really. Now that I think about it. I don't know why this is... You know what this could be? This is my Christmas gift to y'all. This isn't really a Christmas themed build, but it's my Christmas gift to you all. There you go. But I'm going to get off after I place this snow real quick. And we can come back on and fully finish this and lock in on our tour and our YouTube short. I must say, the YouTube shorts I make, my favorite ones to make are the liminal spaces and the apocalypse ones. Those are my favorite ones to make. They're like mini movies, dude. I have so much fun making them. And I can't wait to do the one for this one. So knowing that, I'm going to get off and take a break. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's about time we finish this. So, what I've got now is all this blood, and we're going to put it inside our creepy ass patient zero area, I guess you could call it. And we're actually going to make patient zero's room, I guess you could say, where all the nutty stuff happened. As you can see, all the blood for patient zero is darker. And then combined with this blood, we're going to get a crap ton of like mold decals, similar to what we have on the wall, but everywhere. We'll get some on the roof, the floor, the glass. Glass, maybe not actually. Actually, probably. Depends on what mold actually grows on. So I've got a couple one-sided decals. Something I've learned, and I should probably tell y'all, if you're putting like decals on a wall like this, like just plain and normal, use one-sided decals. I can't stress it enough. If you are using two-sided decals to put decals on your wall, you will get really bad results, and you gotta trust me on that. Because what happens is when you look at it from a certain perspective, it will actually go invisible. So if you're putting like an image or a texture on a wall, use one-sided and only use two-sided if you're going to put something on glass. That's what I've learned. This looks disgusting, bro. Funny story. A few years ago, I needed new pillows, right? So what we did is instead of buying new pillows, we got old pillows from like storage that we specifically saved in case we'd need more eventually. And I used it, right? It was already kind of used, so it had a bit of a yellow tint to it. I ignored it. I ignored it, right? Something I didn't know, if you have your mattress right up against your wall, or like your pillows, or anything that's like bedding up against your wall, it'll create moisture and trap moisture. So what happened was that pillow that was up against the wall actually grew mold, bro. Like, I remember waking up one day and I was like, what the hell is that smell? It smells like death itself. That's the best way to describe it, really. Like, you know, when like imagine mildew, but imagine like that combined with like death. That's the best way to describe it. But that pillow, right? I flipped it over. I was like, what the hell is this? I saw a bunch of black dots. And I was like, and at the time, I was obsessed with urbexing videos. And they always geek out like, the black mold, the black mold. Like, you know, how it's dangerous and all that. I'm like, oh my god, my pillow grew black mold. And I was like tweaking out. And I immediately threw out that pillow. I don't know what the hell it was. I still don't know. It could have been black mold. It could have not been. Like, I remember it happening and then me having a nightmare about it shortly afterward. And that's what this kind of reminds me of. This gross-ass laboratory. But I think our wall is at a good point. I'm going to get a bunch of floor versions and roof versions. If you've ever smelt mildew, or if you've ever actually come across like a mold, not like a food mold, like a building mold. Anyone that's come across a building mold could probably smell what this looks like. They'll look at this and know exactly what this smells like. I'm going to put some on the roof. I don't know if I'm going to do as much as the floor, because I don't want it to get too repetitive. I'll do like 5, maybe 1 or 2 out here. I might even change the color of the lights. Maybe the mold is covering the lights and changing the color of them or something. Yeah, like a green, bro.
Really get that gross biology look. I feel like the idea of Patient Zero being dead, well, not dead, but like might as well be dead. Like, I don't know if I've said this already or not, but what I kind of imagine is Patient Zero, they experimented on Patient Zero while he was still alive. Like, he was a zombie, and he was like trying to bite the scientists. Like it says right here, subject is unable to feel pain and is unable to speak. When spoken to, subject only responds with high aggression. Shows extreme aggression to all lab members and sounds. While they were like experimenting on him, he was being aggressive, trying to bite the scientists. And I imagine that eventually Patient Zero gained the strength, or they weren't being careful enough and Patient Zero got out and wreaked havoc on all the scientists that were in here, killing them all. But the chemicals and stuff that they injected into Patient Zero are already in Patient Zero. Like, all the chemicals in Patient Zero and shit are still actually, like, kicking in. But it's too late. Patient Zero already started the outbreak. And, you know, sometime later, Patient Zero has decomposed to the point where it's unable to move. It's like a pile of body parts in, like, organic matter now. And how it stays alive is it uses spores to feed on the corpses around the lab. So as you can see, all the dead bodies in here, they're being fed on by, you know, Patient Zero's spores and Patient Zero's fungus or mold. Whatever is growing around here. I don't know what's a better word for it. Mold or fungus? Probably mold. But like, Patient Zero releases spores and various molds to feed. And try and get a better transition on the ivy that's in there by putting a crap ton of decals. Yeah, look at that. That's a lot better. I don't know if we can call this finished or not. I think I'm missing one right there. Let's get some blood on the glass as well as some mold on the glass, and then I think we can call this finished and finally do our tour. It's taking a lot longer than I thought it would. I think we can call this finished. I'm not gonna lie, this looks so cool. Ooh! 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 Oh, there's a little decal there I forgot to get rid of. Hold on. Ooh! Yeah, that's the exact look I'm going for. Alright, without further ado, let us commence our tour. Starting off, we have this gargantuan parking lot made for all the scientists. I made sure to have some nice cars, because I feel like being scientist is kind of like, I don't know, important. You have a high-paying job, luxury cars. So I got like a couple of G-Wagons, opulent Astros. You can see a couple scientists didn't make it far after running out of the laboratory. This is actually the uniform without the lab coat. I kind of made it so some didn't have their lab coat, as if they threw it off as they were running. This one tried to hide under a car. Again, didn't end well. Another one right here. Got like a box truck for whatever reason. Got another person here. This is another segment of the lab. I don't know what this is. I mean, I haven't really thought of what this would actually be in terms of like the lab departments. I don't even know what any of the labs are, if I'm being honest. But this is one part of the lab, and then you got a sky bridge that leads to another, which is right here. I do imagine that this actually is a lot bigger, but it continues off of the plot. I used a lot of like blue, kind of like greenish glass for like an early 2000s look. Do we go over there? No, I'll stay over here. You got a person here. Made sure to put a lot of grime and some cracks on this because this is 6 months after the outbreak. So I wanted to show a little bit of age and a little bit of under maintenance in this. Got Got plenty of snow. Again, grime. Bodies everywhere. I wanted this place to have so many bodies, so many cars, because I imagine this place got hit the hardest. The nice part about the other builds is they saw it coming, sort of. Like, it started in the lab, word got out kind of quick as the infection was spreading. So that's why you have some preparation in, like, the high school and the mall and the hospital and stuff. Because, like, people did prepare a little bit because they heard about what happened at the lab and knew shit was coming. And that's why the lab has no barricades or nothing. Mostly dead people, and most of the cars are still here because people weren't able to get out to drive away. It's a kind of unnecessary detail, but I'm proud of it, so I thought I'd tell y'all. You got plenty of these billboards. I'll kind of look at them so you can pause the video and read them if you like. There you go. I even gave the... That could be a real website, I don't even know. I gave the place a fake website and a fake email, but I think that detail is so cool. So there's that one. You've also got this one right here. I love these characters, bro. It's totally like those characters that like Google would use, or like some sort of big corporation. And they're wearing the exact outfit that most of our scientists are wearing. Again, more people having a bad day. And then there's your sky bridge. We'll come back to that. Let's go over here. So as you can see, the military did actually come to the lab. I imagine at around... This build takes place in like December. Snow has just started coming down. The outbreak happened in late spring, early summer, so like maybe June. I imagine the military came here probably around October, November, and they came here for answers. They came here for ideas and research and just anything that would benefit the government from this kind of catastrophe that's happening. So in order to find the answers and all that jazz, the military took this M939, loaded it up with about 8 people, I'd say, and traveled to the laboratory expecting some survivors or some answers or anything. But they were met with a very high number of zombies, more than the hospital. And if you've been watching like the YouTube shorts and all that, you know that the hospital has a lot of zombies in it. But this is our truck here. Made sure to get a bunch of detail underneath. Fuel tank, air filters, got your exhaust, your snorkel, leaf springs, got your drivetrains, your diffs, all that jazz. There's your front. It's not extremely detailed. I'd say the what do you call it? The Willys Jeep had a little more detail. But I like how we have 2 different military vehicles now in the lore. No, 3 military vehicles in the lore. We had the Willys Jeep, the Humvee, and now the M939. You can see tons of blood on the vehicle. They were not prepared, bro. They came here and were met with disaster. You can see a bunch of zombies barge out of this exit right here. This guy did not make it. Flat on his face right here in front of the entrance. This is your first hallway. Very happy with how this turned out. Plenty of zombies in here. This isn't like the main hallway, so I didn't put too many, but it's definitely one of the hallways that people would use to get around. So I made sure to put some zombies in here. Got blood and everything. And then again, more military zombies. They were not prepared. They were met with quite the surprise. So coming into our main room. This is where, you know, the disaster gets put into perspective a little bit. Got some bodies down there by the elevators. Plenty of bodies in the lobby here, like... You got a bunch of people in uniform, blood everywhere. Really puts like the rush and like the panic into perspective. Another sign right here. If you want to read it, feel free to pause. These do have some lore on them, if that's what you're interested in. Again, blood. I love doing details like this. This is the receptionist. You can see her outfit's a little bit different from the actual scientists. I made it so she got, like, tackled onto the desk. And as you can see, like, the monitors on the ground and everything. I love adding details like that, man. I feel like it's so cool to have stuff like that. You know, you can see what happened just by looking at the aftermath. Again, bodies in here, couches, elevators. Really try to give this place a sleek look. Got another zombie here. Did something similar to the hospital where you got TVs. You've also got these emergency lights. I love adding these to commercial buildings. Here you have a big sign that says the name of the place. This is Tri-Arc Research Institute, Chemco. Chemco was the name I came up with in episode 1. And I didn't think that this was going to be a series, so Chemco was like just a random name I came up with. Thought I'd use it for like some graffiti. Didn't think much of it. Here we are on like episode 6, episode 8 maybe. I wasn't very sure about the name Chemco like as I was building this, even though I came up with it so long ago. So I kind of thought maybe like we could add something onto it. So maybe like the survivor that put Death to Chemco on the mall was talking about the lab or a division in the lab, which would be the Chemco division, where Patient Zero came from. But the full name of this place is Tri-Arc Research Institute. That's probably the name of the lab. And then Chemco, which is like the department or the division. And yeah, that's our lobby. Again, plenty of zombies. I tried to give them variety. You got like an old Albert Einstein looking dude right here. Kind of got like a buzz cut or like a small afro dude here. They've got some grays. Again, if you want to read these, I will put my camera in front of this so you can read it. Again, there's this one too. I think I've already shown that. You can see the roof. Try to make it busy while also keeping it clean. I think I did that quite all right. I love these air ducts, man. I'll always use these on commercial builds. I don't care what I'm making. These air ducts will always be present. I love them. I really tried to go for a weird modern design with this upper hallway that looks down on the lobby. You can see there's plenty of zombies in here too. Elevators. More doors that lead to other sectors. Plenty of scientists, as I said. Look at that. Yep, bodies. Custom door. Doesn't go anywhere, but it looks cool. Kind of similar to the one we did on the hospital. Again, bodies. Bodies. And now we're in the sky bridge. The sky bridge goes through the lobby to the outside to the other sector, which is unfurnished because plot data. You can see some people running through the sky bridge did not have a great day. I use this window in a lot of spots, so prepare for it to get repetitive, bro. That's pretty much it for the lobby, I think. I love how the sunlight shines in here. I was kind of debating on getting rid of the sunlight and having a gray sky, but the sunlight is just way too nice. There's your receptionist desk. Just overlooking everything again, making sure I did it right. Love how this turned out. The hardest part about this was definitely getting different zombies, different zombie poses. Like, just doing stuff to make them different in general was really difficult. Like, whether I changed their clothes, their hair, their skin tone, their pose. There was so much that I had to do to change them. Look at that sunlight, man. I love this. This might be my favorite apocalyptic build yet. It was the hospital before, but now it's definitely this. It's probably the most realistic looking out of all of them, too. Coming into here, this is on floor 2. This is actually where some of our labs are. So, hallway, T-junction. Got some, like, chairs and stuff. Sun shining in. Over here, you have an empty lab. I imagine there was nobody in here when the catastrophe initially happened, when the outbreak started. I imagine this place was locked up because everyone in this lab, or everyone that worked in this lab specifically, wasn't there. Maybe they were in another area. You know, that kind of stuff. It's like when you when you go to school and like you'll see a classroom that's empty because the class is at gym or something. It's pretty much the same thing. So I made sure to not have any blood, no zombies. It's just empty because no one was in here initially, and it's locked. So that's that. Here you have an actual active lab. People were in here when the pandemic. I shouldn't say pandemic because then people think of COVID. When the epidemic, not the epidemic, when the outbreak happened, this was actually active. As you can see, I try to get different poses, bodies up against the glass. Got one sitting down here. I try to go in according to how many seats are in here and how many people or how many scientists would typically work in a laboratory. It said 3 to 10 online, so I tried to keep it in between those two numbers. You can see you got all your scientists dead on the ground. You got computers for like research. You got different computers for different like purposes, I guess, or tasks, I guess. I don't even know, like, I know you have specific devices for specific things. Like, this is just your basic research. This could be, like, chemical readings, whatever the hell. Got this guy getting absolutely mauled. Got the various school items coming in clutch, the microscope, the pottery thing. I know it's a pottery, like, whatever the hell, a turntable, but imagine it does something science, alright? You got vials and beakers, all that jazz. Try to add story by having that on the ground. Plant. You know, just lab stuff. This is a lab. Heavily inspired by Those Who Remain. I am very happy with how this turned out. I love this, like, windowed look. The windowed rooms, man, they're so, like, just weird. Like, it just feels laboratory. Like, look at that. And then the air ducts, too. It's, like, modern. It's modern while it's industrial, you know? Or, like, it's minimalist while it's also industrial because of the air ducts. It's all white. Like, I just don't know how to describe this, like, building style, but I really like it. Coming up, it's kind of a carbon copy of what we had below. Again, more zombies getting eaten. More, advertisements, billboards, whatever you call this. In here is more computer research than it is actually, like, biology or chemistry research. In here is just computers, no microscopes or anything. You can see we have plenty of desks with plenty of computers. Got photocopiers, all that jazz. Everything to get your documents out to the other scientists. Very cozy. Love how this turned out. It totally looks like a lab. You can see how the chairs are all bumped around and stuff too. Over here, this was inspired by Those Who Remain. I decided to make it so one of them was being renovated or changed. So you still got, like, your original desks and stuff. Missing some computers and personal belongings, like someone kind of took them out and put them somewhere else. The walls aren't painted or finished. You can see someone tried to hide in here, but they weren't very successful. They didn't get the rhythm proper on holding their breath. You know, like QuickTime events. Get it, guys? You know what I'm talking about, right? You got your kind of like renovation items and tools. Got some stuff that'll please HR. Your caution barriers. Very happy with how this turned out. It's like, the nice part about this is it doesn't look bad. And it's under detail, which is good because I'm saving plot data. It looks fine. It's fitting in with the lore because this place is getting renovated. Of course it's going to be empty. Like, this is perfect. I love this. And it adds some variety too. Like, I could have just had a carbon copy of what was there on the right, another computer lab, or I could have made it so it was being renovated. Like, yeah, this is a computer lab, but it's getting renovated. And then down here I made this one dark and not running. This one's running, but they're still the same. Like, getting that variety is really important. There's nothing up here. I just added windows so it looks good from the outside, and you can kind of see how that looks. Really does look like a full building now, just because of the windows on the top floor. But yeah, I'm just so pleased with how this exterior turned out in combination with the interior. Like, this is one of the few builds where, like, I'm happy with everything. Like, literally everything. Like, I'm so pleased with the exterior. I'm very happy with how the interior turned out. Like, this looks like a lab. I'm like, exterior looks like a lab or some sort of, like, government facility. Interior looks like a lab or some sort of facility. Like, it's just perfect. I love it. Well, it's not perfect. It's perfect in my eyes. It might not be perfect in other people's eyes, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. You see all the grime and stuff. If you want to look at the roof, here's like a brief look. It's not very detailed. It's just filler, so it looks good from afar. That's not nice, but there's nothing I can do about that. But you can see all of our, like, snow, piping, all that jazz, just to make it look good from afar. Because if you're way over here, that does add a lot. But as I was saying, we still have these two hallways right here. We're going to start off on the top. This is like a cryo chamber, or like a freeze room, I guess you could call it. What happens here is bodies, organs, and various organic matter is stored in, like, freezers. And it is stored there so it could be experimented on. I kind of thought this room would have been locked, similar to the one that was down there with the lights off. That's ugly. Hold on. And I thought it was kind of interesting to have some stuff in pristine condition. So that's why this one's just clean, running normally. And I feel like having this one clean and running normally is good because the one down below is in a very bad state. And it's kind of interesting to see what it looked like before and what it looked like after. This fog or like steam is supposed to like indicate that it's cold in here. Got your kind of storage chambers right here on either side, but there's more through this door. Books, folders, lab coats, everything you need. You got your emergency shower, all that jazz. You got plenty of bodies and zombies in here that were running away from the kind of disaster that was occurring. That's pretty much it for this floor. Now, down here is where it really gets interesting. This is the home of Patient Zero, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, Patient Zero has completely ruined this floor. There is mold, fungus, and spores everywhere. The scientists that are in here initially were actually the ones experimenting on Patient Zero. And normally they'd restrain Patient Zero, but Patient Zero broke out. Patient Zero bit most of the scientists, and some turned into zombies, spreading into the other parts of the lab. But as you can see, Patient Zero is no longer active. I went for more of like a decomposition vibe because I've said this plenty of times, but if you've skipped through the video and you just want to see the tour, Patient Zero has been experimented on, which means Patient Zero has been injected with different chemicals, different things. And after it's been injected, it bit it bit scientists. So the scientists were infected, but they weren't injected with chemicals. So Patient Zero still had the chemicals inside it. So those chemicals actually corroded Patient Zero's body. And, the combination of that with Patient Zero just decomposing because it's dead kind of led to Patient Zero just being immobile. Its like body parts are so fragile it's no longer able to walk or move. So it's kind of just lying here on the ground. It's still alive, and the way it feeds is it actually uses the spores that it releases to actually, eat the bodies that are in here. You can see the spores kind of got into the vents, and now they're being released even more throughout the lab, and that's kind of fueling Patient Zero. You can see the mold is actually spread everywhere too, all over the walls, all over the glass. Like, it's definitely a bit of a problem. And here is where Patient Zero initially broke out. See, I did not expect Patient Zero to break out like this. Plenty of mold, notes, got a whiteboard. This is very key for lore if you want to read this. If you can, it's very blurry. I don't know why. I tried to fix it plenty of times and it didn't work. But there's lore if you want to read it. Again, mold everywhere. I really wanted to make this place look absolutely disgusting. And really look like bad shit happened here. Like this, the thing about the apocalyptic builds, I've never done spores or anything like this. So I wanted to save that for Patient Zero because I wanted Patient Zero to stand out from the other builds. Like, all the spores, all the mold, all the fungi, and Patient Zero's decaying body on the ground here, all this stands out from the other builds because it's not in the other builds. And I wanted to emphasize Patient Zero as much as possible because Patient Zero is probably the most important lore aspect to this entire series. Because I initially did this as one video, the mall. It was a Halloween build, the apocalyptic mall. People wanted something apocalyptic, so I built the apocalyptic mall, and that was it. And then people wanted more. So then came the high school, then the watchtower, then the hospital, then the airport, and now there's lore and story. So the more that I do this, the more I have to be careful about what decisions and choices I'm making because I don't want to mess up the lore. I actually want to make a good story and structure because I'm starting to really enjoy this. This almost feels like I'm making a movie or something. But yeah, this is Patient Zero's home. I think I've shown everything that needs to be shown in here. I am very happy with how this turned out. You can see from the outside too, the spores is darker than the room above it. Man, like, I'm just so happy with this. I can't describe how happy I am with this. It's so, like, I feel like I did so good, like, distributing the detail equally from outside to inside. And I'm so happy that I did this much interior work because I never do this much interior work. This is the most interior work I think I've ever done on an apocalyptic build. This is the most interior I think I've ever done on an apocalyptic build, which makes me really proud of this, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm gonna have to delete this eventually because it's worth like 7 million. That's a pretty penny, yo. I gotta save that for other builds. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please let me know. If you have lore speculations or lore ideas, throw them in the comments, because that's honestly my favorite part of these videos, is the lore and story that you guys come up with. I just can't stop reading it. So, with all the, like, new lore elements we've implemented into this video, feel free to, like, build on it and give me some ideas, because I will totally implement those into future apocalyptic videos. Yeah, tell me what you think about this building. I think it might be one of my best buildings yet. I'm yapping. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please let me know. Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and yeah, I'll see you guys. Oh, my carrot, bro. God damn. In the next one. Bye-bye now.